Hi, Pastor Kip here. What a glorious Easter Sunday we had this past week. Friends and family gathering. I got to meet so many people that I had not had a chance to meet yet. It was just marvelous. Thank you for making it special, to our choir, to the instrumentalists, to everything that happened that day. It was just fantastic. And now we look forward to moving into the rest of spring and summer and all that God has for us. Speaking of moving in and moving ahead, um, some years ago, my wife Tammy and I were in Galilee, which is in modern Israel, actually in Capernaum, it's called. They're in the Holy Land. And we were with some friends, and we'd been seeing several things that day, touring several sites, and it became time for lunch. And someone said, we need to eat lunch. Where do you want to go? And through the course of our conversation, someone said, well, why don't we see if we can have some of St. Peter's fish? And I thought, okay, that'd be fun. And some of them had never done that before. So we went to a place, a restaurant that's right there on the Sea of Galilee. It's called David's Harp. That's the name of the restaurant. And they're famous for serving St. Peter's fish. Now, there are several places that do, but that's one of the most famous. And so when you go in, it's a typical restaurant. They're on the sea. You have all the other things that go along with it. And then they bring you out your fish. And St. Peter's fish is right there on a platter. And it's a whole fish, just like you would get a whole fish in a catfish restaurant or something here in Alabama. There it is, the whole fish. Except being catfish, this is a species of tilapia. And why is it called St. Peter's fish? Well, it comes from a story, an episode in the life of Jesus from the 17th chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel, where Jesus has a conversation with his apostle Peter. And then abruptly he tells him to go and throw his fishing line in the water. Remember now, Peter was a professional fisherman before he left everything to follow Jesus. Jesus says, throw your line in the water, and the first fish you catch, in its mouth, you'll find some money. What is this story all about? Why would the author of Matthew's Gospel include it in the part of all the other wonderful stories we have about Jesus and his encounter with other people who need healing and wholeness? And here's this seemingly random story, almost unbelievable, some type of myth, it seems, or fantastic account. Catch this fish, and the first one you catch, there'll be money in its mouth. This coming Sunday, I will begin a new sermon series for the rest of this month of April, and it will also go through the month of May. This series is entitled, Did You Get My Text? Understanding 8 of the most misunderstood stories in the Bible. And I promise you, this is one of the most misunderstood stories in the Bible. In all my years, I've never heard anybody preach on this passage. I have once in the past, it's been a long time ago. But when it comes up in a Bible story or a Bible study or a small group, people are always left kind of scratching their head as if to say, what's this story about and why is it in the gospel? It only appears in this one gospel. There's a reason why Matthew includes it. More importantly, there's a reason why we need to understand it. Because, yes, it's been misunderstood, all kinds of speculation about it. And for many people, they just kind of dismiss it out of hand as one of those weird stories about Jesus that we can't possibly understand in the 21st century. But we can if we break it down and if we seek to understand what Jesus is doing and why. And in the midst of it, there is a kernel of truth that we need to apply to our daily lives, just like Jesus was trying to get Peter to apply it in his daily life and the other apostles as well. So join me for this series. Mark your calendar for these Sundays. And we're going to take some stories. Some are more well known, others not so much, like this one. See if we can break them apart, understand them from a historical critical point of view, from a scholarly point of view, but also then from a life application point of view. And each of these stories has a life application. There's a reason why they're in the Bible, and we need to understand them and understand them better. The text of Scripture, did you get my text? Can be hard to understand sometimes. And even after all these years of studying it, earning degrees in the New Testament, there's a lot I still have to learn. And I'm going to learn something in this series too. So bring a friend, a family member, come to church. Let's join together in worship, in sharing together, but also in discovery, self discovery, biblical discovery, and the discovery about a deeper and more meaningful spiritual walk with Christ throughout the pages of Holy Writ. I look forward to seeing you this Sunday. Did you get my text? Understanding 8 of the most misunderstood stories in the Bible. I look forward to seeing you then. God bless you.